Welcome, everybody, to episode 2 of the Core Values podcast, where we will be keeping you up to date with the latest metalcore releases, scene drama, and much more. I'm your host, Christopher Erb.
And I'm Chris Ernesto. Let's get right into it. What's first?
So, show me the body.
Show
me the body.
Bro, we talked about him last week.
Last week, I said how heartbroken I was. And the metalcore gods have blessed us because Dealer is fucking back, guys.
Dealer is back, baby. Now, a lot of people, a lot of people have their opinions on Dealer, especially after the whole breakup. And of course, like Aiden's accusations and everything that's been going on. If you haven't seen Aiden's recent post on Instagram, I encourage you to go check it out and kind of read it. And he kind of explains all that as well. However, there's this whole, him still being toxic factor, which in my opinion, yeah, sucks. You know what I mean? But if it's just him being toxic and having a bad attitude, that's not going to stop me from listening to the fan.
And who's to say he hasn't fixed that? I mean, everyone in the band came back except Josh.
Yeah.
Josh is doing his own thing, and I don't think, I mean, whether they are on good terms or not, it's probably not even relevant at this point. Josh is trenched into his new projects. I'm sure he wouldn't have joined Dealer even if him and Aiden became friends again.
For sure.
But everyone else is back with the exception of the new guys. And I think if the band can, bury the hatchet, not to quote the song, I think if they can all smooth that over, I think it's pretty safe for us all to be listening to it.
Yeah.
They're signed to Human Warfare now. They're label mates with Fit for an Autopsy, The Art is Murder. So
Great American Ghost too. That's another band, man, that we had the pleasure. Where Chris and I are in a band called Neon Graves. We had the pleasure of playing a show with. Or no, it wasn't even that, huh?
Yeah, we played with them. Yeah,
for sure.
They were the headliner. They were great. Their vocalist is
very good.
Animated as fuck on stage. The dude's a monster. He reminds me a lot of the way Mitch Lucker used to perform. Just super all over the place. He's a long, lanky guy. He loves to stomp. He's crazy. So
for sure. But yeah, anyway, spinning back to Dealer, that's also another big thing about the band is that, like you said, Josh, which was one of the main.
He was the main songwriter, the songwriter.
He was everything you heard in Dealer, and he's not in the project anymore. So a lot of people have been saying, yeah, okay, well, it's just not going to be the same after this. But check out their new song if you haven't heard of it yet, called "Show Me the Body," and it's
awesome.
God, man,
I think you can tell a little bit that it's not it still sounds like Dealer because they're going to the same producer. They're obviously going for that same sound, but at the end of the day, I think Aiden really. He does such a good job on any instrumental because he has an interesting sound. He has great lyrics. He mixes stuff up. So he's able to kind of carry the weight that the instrumental didn't necessarily bring. I still think it's a cool instrumental. I just don't think it's their strongest release so far.
For sure.
But for a comeback, I was very happy with it. I had no idea it was happening. I just woke up, was getting ready for work on yesterday morning, Friday morning. I got up getting ready for work and I was like, did somebody release something under Dealer's name? I
was crying, man. Well, because that at first I didn't believe it either because I'm an Apple Music guy. Reign Supreme. And for the longest time, man, after their breakup, there was some Spanish song from a project called Dealer that was on their Apple Music or whatever. Yeah. So I just figured another song like that had gotten leaked on there.
Exactly my thoughts.
But yeah, man. Oh, I'm so excited for the future of Dealer, man.
The video was sick.
Yeah, video was awesome, man. They came back in full force. Awesome production all the way around. And for everybody listening, I mean, I know there's been a lot of people don't really like Aiden, but I
love him. I love you, Aiden.
It's just not enough for me to say, hey, forget the new Dealer. It's not good because
he's not a criminal.
I would be lying if I said that Dealer is the band I'm looking for.
Yeah. We were just talking about last week that there was literally a void left in us and we were waiting for other bands to fill it. And Dealer said, we got you. So that's pretty awesome. I think that's probably the highlight of my week in terms of releases. But this isn't necessarily drama, but there's a lot of controversy on Periphery's new releases because they dropped a two track from their upcoming album, Djent is Not a Genre. And this guy and a lot of people really cannot stand the clean melodies in the song. Yeah. And I totally get it. It's super proggy, experimental. It's just weird and different for the scene. And I think it kind of just caught a lot of people off guard. It's a little bit jarring in sections. Overall, I think it's an awesome song. I think the other song, Zagreus, they dropped is really good too. I have a hard time getting all the way through it because I'm not trying to listen to a song for 8 minutes and my attention span's like, phew. But I love Periphery. I think the production on it's really cool. Bass sounds awesome. So that's my thoughts on it. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't think it's their best work by any means, but I'm not really upset about the cleans like everyone else is. So, well, let's go to the other side of the aisle and see what Chris represents the side of people that were like, what the fuck?
Well, okay. So I'll be honest by just saying this. I've never really like got the huge like hype behind Periphery. Like they're awesome. I mean,
I love them, but I don't think that they're like I get what you're saying. They're a little bit.
They are cemented into the metalcore, or should I say, Djent.
They kind of have a cult-like following.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely a good band. It's just, I don't know, like even like Hellstan.
That was their weakest album, in my opinion.
Well, I know, but that's like kind of where I like finally like started to like force myself to try to listen to Periphery, and then I went back on their discography, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, there's some bangers, you know. Yeah. And then, even at that, like seeing like the Djent shit posting page on Facebook and like the metalcore page on Facebook, and just kind of like diving into the realm that is Periphery. It is a cult like following, and I think
one reason that they're like that, why they kind of got that type of following, is that you could kind of call them the forefathers of Djent.
Yeah,
like I'm not saying that they invented Djent, but they definitely,
but it's not a genre.
It made it mainstream. Yeah, it's not a genre. Whatever the sound is, you know, they're kind of pioneers in that realm. So yeah. Speaking of pioneers, let's get into the big four.
So there's a trend that's going around right now that has a ton of people arguing. We're curious about what you guys think as well. So be sure to let us know on our social medias. Who is the founding big four of metalcore? In my opinion, I would definitely say probably at my number one spot. No, I'm not going to number these in any way because I don't want a lot of people to come after me. But of course, Killswitch is definitely.
I agree.
Is definitely up there. So the top two, in my opinion, would be Killswitch and All That Remains.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Killswitch, All That Remains. Man, and then whenever you talk about metalcore, man, it's just so crazy because you had like the early like 2000s era of metalcore, which was, you know, the start of metalcore. But then you have an entire like new era of metalcore that came at the end of that decade, like Devil Wears Prada. You know what I mean? And then you had bands following them like Bless the Fall. I mean, and then like Asking Alexandria came after that. Bring Me the Horizon started to shift from their deathcore back in like 2004, 2006. And then they started to slowly go into like what Devil Wears Prada and all those guys were doing too. But as far as we're talking about just like founding straight up metalcore, Killswitch Engage, All That Remains. And I'll say this too, because a lot of people call them thrash, but this was like metalcore to me back in the day. Bullet for My Valentine, man.
Yeah.
Bullet for My Valentine will be one that I feel like a lot of people would kind of get mad about and disagree. And as far as number 4, man,
As I Lay Dying.
There we go. Yep. As I Lay Dying. I mean, they
certainly helped popularize it if they didn't help found it.
Their foundation of metalcore was so good. They made the same song 100 times and people still listen to them.
Yeah. It's just the recent album I can't get into.
Yeah, I mean,
I still love As I Lay Dying.
Yeah, I mean, Tim came back too, and then even when he came back and everything too, it was still awesome, but there wasn't just like a lot of replay value for me. They're like Powerless Rise, God, dude, that album from front to back.
Yep, so good.
Shaped me, yeah, for sure. It was so good. But then, like I said, after that, man, metalcore just kind of like just changed. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's why As I Lay Dying felt a little underwhelming after all that time they came back, and they pretty much had the same sound.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like they're keeping up with the evolution of where the scene's at now.
Yeah.
Because while that stuff is good and that's what a lot of people are looking for, Chris and I are always looking for new and experimental and just kind of like boundary pushing sounds. And they didn't bring that to the table. It was exactly what you would expect out of an As I Lay Dying record, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's just not anything that I was like blown away by.
Yeah. So I guess what I was trying to say earlier is when I say big founding four, I think about all the people who have just like recently gotten into metalcore from like Bad Omens or like, you know, newer style metalcore bands. If I was to say, okay, well, then this is the founder of this, what you're listening to, I wouldn't say like Killswitch Engage, and I wouldn't say As I Lay Dying. You know what I mean?
Asking Alexandria.
I would say like Devil Wears Prada, like Asking Alexandria, Bless the Fall, that type of stuff. But if we're just talking metalcore in general, because I'm a musician myself, and this is like what I started on, and I don't want the sweaties to come after me.
Come after us. We're sweatier.
Yeah, Kill Switch Engage, man. All That Remains, Bullet for My Valentine, and As I Lay Dying.
I'd have to agree. I pretty much 100% agree. I would say that Bullet for My Valentine is definitely, you know, like another band that helped popularize it. I don't know if I would necessarily consider them founders, but I wasn't as into Bullet for My Valentine as everyone else, so that's kind of a biased opinion. But man, I definitely think it's always going to be subjective because everyone's favorites are going to come out. But like a lot of people would say that Pantera were like the first metalcore band, and a lot of people would say Iron Maiden like helped start it.
Or like,
it really just depends on your perspective.
Brought in like some aspects that transition from like thrash to like new stuff too. But it just all comes down to how sweaty you are about it. You know what I mean? Chris and I are sweaty about like the new style of metalcore.
Yeah.
And anything that reflects that. So that's kind of like where we fall. But definitely like let us know. Reach out to us if y'all have an opinion on the Big Four, because that is a big thing that's going on in the scene right now, and it's split some division because nobody wants to admit that Kill Switch Engage was one of the biggest ones. Oh, this is what I'll say. Fuck Bullet for My Valentine. Avenged Sevenfold, bro.
Oh yeah,
Avenged Sevenfold. There we go. Okay,
I was jamming them last night. Like me and my roommate were drinking, and we were just going through all the older Avenged Sevenfold songs. Like, dude, this still fucks.
If you're sitting there and if you're gonna say that Avenged Sevenfold didn't put a huge stamp on early metalcore and founding that song, or founding that the metalcore genre, you're lying, man. I mean.
Fucking yeah, they did the power chord stuff. They got the riffs. They would do like I think that's one of the reasons I like them, because Matt Shadows has got like he likes to do the weird sounds and do like almost Scott Stapp type stuff with his like, especially in Little Piece of Heaven, like all the weird ways he kind of talks and sings and just kind of adds this weird kind of cadence to his voice and experimenting, and it's just something that's not really happening anywhere else. So that's what sets him apart, and I think that's what we were kind of trying to say with. We like the new modern stuff and the experimental stuff because we're wanting to hear stuff we haven't heard before or isn't constantly being done. And like, so you just, I basically like it to sound like someone gave Excision a guitar.
Like, yeah, exactly. That's pretty much where it came from now. But yeah, man, Avenged Sevenfold, people regurgitated those same riffs for like a decade afterwards. And, you know,
and even their choruses, man, they have some crazy, melodic, beautiful choruses. Like, they're an insanely talented band, and just because they blew up and there's a stigma with their fan base, they get a little more hate than they really deserve.
Yeah.
But they've kind of they're kind of becoming like the dads of like just rock and roll now.
Yeah,
because
they're super dad
old
rock
now, and they're all, but they're still dropping music, and I respect it.
Oh yeah. No, I've literally got, man, I feel like a boomer, man. I've got a CD of City of Evil.
Yeah.
Loaded up in my car right now. I haven't listened to a CD in years, but it's just been chilling.
I listened to that entire album last night, and they're self-titled and Nightmare.
Oh, so good, man. But anyways, let's
segue the past in the past.
Yeah, let's segue into some latest releases, man. Let's talk about it.
What's your favorite releases from this week?
Man, it
was a good release week.
Yeah, so Dealer is probably going to be my favorite, man.
100%.
The Sleep Token stuff, man, I will say, I really didn't get the hype at first, and Summoning Man has honestly grown on me. When it breaks down to the jazz, I like singing in the shower, man. So
yeah, I wish that they would have made that part one song, and like I just don't like all the extra theatrics that it's just like empty space with no vocals. It's like I just want to hear this dude sing.
For sure. I think as far as a good like a gateway band though, Sleep Token is going to be
for sure. They remind me a lot of the way Paris was when they started. Like they're getting a lot of. Yeah.
Dude, they went up 100,000 monthly listeners this past week, dude.
Jesus.
Yeah. They're like, and they're still rising, man. So yeah, definitely Sleep Token. I can't deny that. Great single, man. Dealer is probably my, that's like my release of the year so far. I mean, I know we're barely into January, but like.
How did Sleep Token get Sam Smith in their band?
It's Hosier, bro.
Hosier.
It's Hosier. I'm telling you, if you run up on stage and just snatch that real quick, it's going to be Hosier back there, bro.
Dealer's definitely my favorite this week. I can't get past it. It's short, sweet, perfect, everything I want. But another band that kind of is in that sound, and 1056, they dropped their Downer Part 2 EP. It was 4 new tracks technically, but Psycho was released the day before with the video. But I really liked it. I was a little bit nervous that it was going to kind of just sound like Suicide Boys because RLS was like really rap focused. And I'm fine with that. It just didn't hit it for me because I love rap and metalcore like mashups. I'm really into that kind of stuff. But their EP is super good. I love their sounds. They always do the scratchies, and they've got a lot of 808s and kind of hip hop elements I think are really cool. Yeah. And Aaron Matz is just a fucking monster of a vocalist. So it's cool to hear him on stuff because I was a big Betraying the Martyrs fan. And whenever he left, I was worried, he was going to be done. But I'd say he fits in 1056 10 times better than he did Betraying the Martyrs.
Yep. And for anybody who hasn't heard of 1056, it's Aaron Matz. It's basically the new project that he's in, and they are absolutely phenomenal. They've been around less than 2 years.
Yeah, for sure, like a year and a half. Tops.
Super. It's one of those bands like Darko that a lot of people in the scene know, but you'd be surprised that avid deathcore, metalcore, and hardcore lovers have never heard of. So if you've never heard of 1056, please, that is the band to stop this podcast and go check out right now because they are freaking awesome.
They got 2 EPs out now. They're it's Downer Part 1 and Downer Part 2, so they kind of fit into a mold together. It's great to listen through all the way from the top to there, and I think they're really good. My personal favorite songs of theirs are Yenta and Boy, so check those out.
Boy's just classic, man. God, Boy, so good, dude.
Boy's one of those songs that I'm so fucking jealous that I did not write this song. It's so fucking good. Man. Their guitarist, his name is Luca or Lucas. I can't remember. I think it's Luca, but he's so fucking talented. He's young. He's got a fucking amazing career ahead of him. So, and they do too. They're the band to watch right now.
They play Drop Z
sound.
Yeah.
And another band that you should watch right alongside them and very similar sound is Half Me. They kill it with every single release. They up their production value. Their videos get better. They're just such a good band. And like we mentioned last week, we've known them a little bit. They're kind of our friends.
It's been going on about 4 years now, man. Yeah.
We discovered them way back when they released their song Mantis, and Chris reached out and he's kept in contact with them, and they're just so good. Their new song features Marcus from Throne.
Yeah, from Throne. And if y'all haven't heard Throne and you like hardcore, super heavy, metalcore, dude, Throne. Yeah. God,
they were what was scratching my dealer itch until the comeback.
New Low, or not New Low, but their previous EP, man. Check out that EP, especially if you have ADHD and you don't like to listen to whole albums. That EP is 11 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it's a kick in the dick.
Just the whole 11 minutes, you're like,
dude, it's so good. God, it's so good. But yeah, Half Me just did a song featuring their vocalist, and they're 2 of my favorite bands right now. So definitely check it out. It's called Ex Negativo.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's probably one of my favorite, semi-mid band, underground mainstream releases this week as well.
Yeah.
Let's talk about one we just heard, man. King 810, guys. King 810, man.
What a wild ride they've been on with their sound over the years.
For sure. They went to their they did their rap stuff for the longest time. They just dropped this. Did it just drop today?
Dropped yesterday.
And what is it called? I was so infatuated just by
Brains on the Asphalt.
Okay, yeah. Go check out the new King 810 song.
It's interesting.
It's definitely still has their rap elements to it, but it's I feel like it just pays due to their old sound.
Yeah, they're fine. They're bringing back having instruments in and not just beats. And I thought it was cool. It's an interesting sound. I don't necessarily love it. I think that there was some odd choices vocally, but overall it's a fun song. The video was really cool and interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a good medium though.
Yeah, and I think
they're finding where they need to be now.
I would love to see them pursue that route, keep doing the rap stuff, but also mash in that metalcore stuff, because that's literally my bread and butter is rap meets metalcore. I'm a huge Backwards fan. I'm a huge Notions fan. I'm a huge Dropout Kings fan, and so I think that they have a real avenue to do that, because I don't think he's bad by any means. They always choose interesting sounds. He almost does this whiny thing in this new song, and it's not my thing, but it's cool. I mean, it's like I said, I like when people experiment.
I just miss that just angry ass, just King 810.
I am the powers that be.
How fucking you're a vocalist. That's like Danny Warsnop energy.
That's like if Danny Warsnop was born in Flint, Michigan.
Exactly.
Instead of the hardcore. UK, yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. But yeah, King 810 was freaking awesome. Let's see. A band that we featured last week as well, or talked about last week as well. These guys, keep them on your radar. Graphic Nature. Yeah, Graphic Nature's freaking awesome. Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and talk about them a little bit.
The new song was really good. I really enjoyed it. I was not expecting them to drop another track quite yet, but it's called Headstone, and it'll be off their upcoming album, which I believe drops in March. But I really liked it. It's like I said, that got that new metal hardcore sound that 1056 Dealer, Alpha Wolf, blah, 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 that all of them have. And so I'm really into them. I love their vocalist voice. He's got that kind of mid-range angry sound that I'm super into. And they kill it. They've got the scratchies. They've got a real dark theme. Like they're real dark and gritty. And I think they're just really awesome. I don't really have much to say about the track itself. It's not my favorite they released, but it is very good. And I'm definitely going to be listening to it. So I think you guys should check it out. It's 100% worth your time, and they fucking kill it.
Cool. So with that, let's go to one last release as well. That's pretty much mainstream. I mean, these guys, they're still signed to Sharptone, correct?
Yep.
And these guys are pretty interesting. I know are they still doing like conceptual, like?
Yeah, they usually do conceptual. Cool. I don't think this one, like their first two albums, they wrote their own stories, like these like fantasy stories, kind of Lord of the Rings-esque type vibe.
Like they have their own like lore to them and everything.
And then they write the songs based on those stories. And then the Valley of Kings, I think, is the last one that they did like a full concept like that, because the new album. And actually, I don't even think Valley of Kings does, because they have like some Legend of Zelda stuff in there, and then they have some of their own theme stuff.
Nice.
But the new album's the same way. They've got some concepts, like they've got Tailspin, which I believe is a concept from the movie Dune. They've got
still haven't seen that movie, man.
They've got a song about Maze Runner called Maze Runner. But they're just really talented. They are a 5-piece or a 6-piece, I believe, and they always have interesting sounds. Their guitarists can fucking riff.
They're sick.
They sound great in F sharp. They sound great in C. And my biggest thing is I love their vocalist. He writes really good choruses. He's got a beautiful voice. I think they are severely underrated, and I've had a really good time listening to this album. I think Sea of Fire is so good. Every song on that album is really good, and I'm going to be spinning that like crazy. So definitely check them out, because they are worth it, and they've got really interesting sound. And if you're into reading into lore, they've got all this extra content for you just past their music.
I don't think we even named them yet. We got so like into.
No, I said the Wise Man's Fear.
Oh, Wise Man's Fear. Yeah. Okay. So Sharptone, Wise Man's Fear.
The Wise Man's Fear is who we've been talking about for the past 90
I just got
seconds.
so infatuated because I didn't realize it went that deep with them. That's honestly really cool.
Yeah, they're a really sick band, and I really enjoyed watching them grow, because I discovered them back with Castle in the Colleges, their first album, and nobody knew who they were, and I was like, hello. And thank God Sharptone picked them up, because they're really good.
Dude, man, Sharptone, golly, man. I feel like they've just been like the reigning champs for like pre-COVID. That's when they made like their big jump, and with COVID going on too, man, they were still releasing and signing all these freaking amazing bands.
When they signed Amir, I knew that they were the one.
Yeah. Well, it was first. Who was their first big one, man? It was a Mice and Men, right?
No, it was We Came as Romans.
We Came as Romans, yeah. And then they got because the Mice and Men was like still.
I think they're on Rise still, yeah.
No, well, they went to Sharptone, bro.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they a Mice and Men went to Sharptone, but that was like a mid like Sharptone like era signing. So yeah, they did We Came as Romans. They got Amir,
Don Broco.
Yeah, Don Broco, man. God,
I missed I know they dropped an album not too long ago, but I'm always ready for more Don Broco. They fuck.
Yeah, so Mice and Men still on Sharptone, right?
Oh, they are on Sharptone. I didn't have any idea. I thought they were still on Rise.
And it was fairly new too. It was like right before this the previous release, or like the COVID like era release that they were doing. But yeah, man, let's segue into some more like Undiscovered stuff, man.
Undiscovered had some great releases this week,
dude. Yes, man. It's cool because these are bands these right here are like bands with like less than like 5,000 monthly listeners, and they are amazing. So let's talk about let's go ahead and talk about Cells In, bro.
Cells In is awesome. I'm good friends with the guys that are behind that project. You got Danny DeBella from Before I Turn and Glass Crown. He does all of their songwriting and production, and then they've got a guy named Daniel Salins on vocals. And I've done some work for them. I've done a couple album or song covers, and I did their logo, which I don't think they're even going to use anymore. Thanks, guys. I'm just kidding. But yeah, they're super good. They kind of switched up their sound to be a little bit more of that kind of dark, new metal hardcore sound.
Yeah.
From their,
I feel like that's honestly like
a little bit more metalcore.
Yeah, I feel like that's where the scene's going.
It's the move. Like, everyone loves that.
I mean, like even the Aussies, they're not even considering that like hardcore anymore. They're considering that like
bands are
metalcore,
and those bands are the ones blowing up. 1056, Alpha Wolf, Dealer. Like those are the ones that are on, like everyone I know is talking about at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, check out Sails In. They're super, super good. They got that dark, gritty sound.
What's the name of that? The recent single?
The recent oh, actually, it's spacing my mind. I'm gonna look it up. We were literally just listening to it, but
I think it's so funny.
I can see the visual.
I'm a videographer in the scene. As soon as I saw the visual, I was like, this looks like a Gavin tilt shift visual. And so shout out to Gavin, man, if you listen to this podcast.
But yeah, it's called visual. Nefarious. Check it the fuck out. It's super good. And check out their other stuff. They're really good.
How many
I really like their sound.
Do they have? Less than 2,000.
1900. Yep.
Yeah, less than 2,000. Jeez, man.
And another band that's sitting about the same, I think they're sitting at 200, is they're called Gloom, but it's GLVVM because, we're edgy in the scene. But they're really good. I had seen their logo around from some people on my page, and I hadn't heard of it yet, but I checked out this song, and it's really good. It's called SOS. It dropped on the 30th, I believe, but I think that they deserve some love because they have a really cool sound. I like their visuals so far, but this is their only song that's out, and it dropped last week. So they're brand spanking new. Go give them a follow. You get
1,700 monthly listeners. And one thing about Undiscovered too, I know there's like a lot of podcasts out there, and I don't want to like sound like a snob, but there's like a lot of podcasts out there that will feature bands that are just like, oh, okay, well this band has like 500 monthly listeners, and then you go to listen to it, and it sounds like it was recorded in like a garbage can.
Yeah.
Like no, we'll like actually go through and like see and filter out awesome bands that have
quality underrated,
that have good production, good videos, like bands that are sitting here and they're ready to like blow, you know what I mean? So whenever we sit here and if we recommend a band like this, I'm telling you, do yourself a favor, go check them out because it's something that kind of like just blew us away.
Yeah.
And these guys right here are, they've definitely got potential. They're sitting at 1,700 or 1,700, right?
Yeah, 1,700
monthly listeners. And they
got one song out, 1,700 monthly listeners. You heard it here first. So that way when they blow up later, you can be like, I was a fan since the beginning.
Yeah.
We're giving you that opportunity. So you should take advantage of it. Because they're going to blow up, I guarantee.
Yeah.
They're
really good. Stop listening. God, these guys are so full of themselves.
It's the Metalcore podcast. We're here to bring you the best in metalcore. But past that, one of the best Undiscovered that we wanted to talk about, which they didn't release anything like super recently, but Chris showed me these guys and they're super good. They're called Cold State, and man, they're super awesome. I love their sound. When I first saw their video, I thought Tim Lambesis was the vocalist because they just got this jerked dude. He's so he's tied up and he's all muscular. I'm like, dude, Tim's just doing all these stuff, all these bands, but they're super awesome. Definitely check them out. What do they have, like 2-3 songs out?
I'm pretty sure it's Gruesome is the Cold State, the video you're referring to.
Yeah.
But once again, awesome video production, awesome audio production, and then just amazing songwriting. But the single's called Gruesome.
It's in an 8K.
Yeah. Good. Again, there's one that's under
massively
under
underrated.
10K. So those are the.
Oh, they only have one song out. It's just Gruesome.
Nice.
Cool, so that's like something to look forward to. Is they've got one song out and it was awesome. So I'm fully confident their next release is going to be sick.
So and then with that, so check out Gruesome, check out Sails In, and then once again, I want to mention Half Me again because they're kind of like they just got signed.
They need so much more love.
Yeah, they're sitting at like 40,000, 50K monthly listeners. So if you haven't heard of them, you definitely need to because they're continuing to rise. Those guys are awesome. But that'll go for our Undiscovered. As far as everything else goes to reflect from last week. We had who else did we feature last week, man? We had Escape Artist.
Yeah, I've been jamming them so much this last week.
Yeah, that's another one we need to keep an eye on, man. Because you showed them to me like 2 days before the podcast,
right?
And dude, after that too, I was just like, you know what? Let me go check them out some more. And God, that's like all I've been fucking jamming.
They're really good.
And then as far as like picking up on last week's news, we talked about IC Stars for a little bit.
That's what I was gonna bring up next.
God, still no news. Still no news. Dude, I swear to God, if they
just do something.
Dude, if they don't do anything, I'm walking off the podcast.
You know that meme with the guy with the stick and it's like, do something. That's me with IC Stars. Yep. Like, I don't understand. Just like, why did you have to blue ball me? I wasn't thinking about it. If you would just dropped it later, I would have been solid. But now I'm thinking about it all the time and my nuts are fucking swollen because they want to fucking bust. It's not fucking fair that IC Stars is going to keep freaking tugging me along like this.
Almost 7 years. Chris, almost 7 years.
No, they have the Trios Acoustics, so it's only 5.
A toxic person falls in love at least 10 times in that period. You know what I mean? Like, It's been 7 years, dude. Treehouse could have dropped, and I could have been like, you know what? I want to go to school to be a lawyer. And I would be graduating next year. That's how fucking long it's been. I See Stars. Come on, dude. Like, I don't know.
That's literally more than, like, it's just such a long time. That's more than half a decade. I don't even, like, understand.
Yeah.
I just don't. It doesn't matter. I don't understand. I need it to come out. I'm going to try to stop thinking about it, but I'm probably going to bitch about it on this podcast every week until it happens. So,
but yeah,
get ready for me for reminding you guys, hey guys, you remember who said that they weren't going to be coming back as soon as they're acting like? It was me.
Ugh.
And if they come back, I'll eat my words. I'll do it happily. But they need to come back. I love them so much.
And then, so before we talk about our Undiscovered release of the week and our mainstream release of the week, let's talk about albums that grew on us.
Oh yeah, I actually just found one last night.
And
so I actually got to verify this. So last night I was drunk and I was jamming, dude. I was going at it. I was just by myself sitting in my desk chair jamming, and I had some music playing on YouTube, and just by chance, the next thing I'm so sorry for the noise. By happenstance, the new Architects album came on, and I loathed that album when it came out. I did not like it because for me, Always and Forever Lost Together will be their best album. It is one of the best metalcore albums that has ever existed. So good.
One of the best of all time.
I actually really like the Hereafter album a lot. And I definitely love all of Our Gods Abandoned. So and their older stuff too, like Black Blood, I love that album.
Yeah.
So, but their new stuff wasn't doing it for me at all. And it just happened to come on last night, and I was playing games, so I didn't like switch it off. I just let it go, and I started. Actually, I was like, man, some of this is really good. So I'm going to have to go verify that. I'm going to have to go listen to it sober.
Just to clarify, he was drinking Everclear.
I was drinking tequila. But tequila does make me happy though. So I could have just been easy to please last night. I'll have to go verify it. And I'm not saying it's like a groundbreaking out. That's one thing about that release that kind of always irritated me, is that everyone in the scene was like, this is so revolutionary. And I'm like, have you ever listened to Octane? Like, this is everything that's on Octane. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but just stop acting like it's something it isn't. But I listened to it last night, really, really liked it. I'm going to go give it another chance with a sober mind. So that's one recently that I had that grew on me. You have any?
Dayseeker, man. Dayseeker.
I wish it would, but it hasn't for me.
A lot of people did not like that record, man. And
Without Me is the only song on that album that I need.
Dude, literally, like Crying While You're Dancing is another one that I'll just sit there and like sing in the shower.
And he'll cry while he dances.
Yeah. Like I'm like happily married, and I listen to that album and I'm just like, God, I wish my wife would just like divorce me tomorrow so I can just feel this album even more.
Sometimes I wish that like my wife would leave me so we could write a good album. Just like, can you be a little bit toxic for once and stop being so good to me?
That's how you know an album or a song is just really good, whenever you're in a happy relationship and you just want them just to like leave you so you can just feel a song that much more.
Yeah.
And that's what the new Dayseeker record does for me. But yeah, anywho, man. So let's go. We'll close out with our features, man. Who were we featuring for Undiscovered Artist of the Week?
I don't think it's even close. The best Undiscovered release for this week, yesterday, Friday, which was January 13th. Sales End with Nefarious. It was so awesome. I love the sound. I love the direction they're taking and heading with these releases, because it's definitely a darker route than they were doing before. So I'm excited to see where it goes from here. I think the song is solid. It's got great production. The breakdowns are sick. Danny's such a good songwriter.
Yeah. So like, if we have any Before I Turn fans, go check out Sales In. You'll love it. It's not like super like riffy or anything like that, but it's just it just has the same kind of like atmosphere, and then just the same like energy and the breakdowns and everything as well.
He has like 5 bands too.
Yeah.
He's got Before I Turn. He's got Glass Crown. He's got Blood Moon.
I forgot about Glass Crown.
Yeah. And then Blood Moon, and then now he's doing that one. And I'm sure there's other stuff he's doing, but that guy's prolific. He's always on it. So go check it out. It's really awesome. 100% Core Values podcast featured Undiscovered Artist of the Week is Sales End with the release of their single Nefarious. So go check them out. Show them some love.
1,900 monthly listeners.
And so Chris, you want to bring us in with the mainstream
artist of the week. We've talked about them already. We open with them. In the left corner, we have Dealer, baby.
Show me the body.
Dealer. If you hate us for liking Dealer, man, I am so sorry.
Pause the podcast and leave.
Yeah. There are two kinds of metalcore, hardcore, or just scene fans in general. People who like Dealer and people who are fucking lying.
Yeah, people who are wrong. People don't close your heart to the great gospel of dealer metalcore. It's fucking fantastic. Best release of the week for me personally. It's the sound I love. It might even just be, rose-colored glasses. I'm just excited that they're back. But in my opinion, it's my favorite release of the week.
Yeah.
That's all I've been listening to essentially the last day.
It's far and away not the best Dealer song by any means, but it's just the fact that we get new Dealer now. And I'm super curious to see how they're going to go about this year without Josh Ng. But nonetheless, the band I'm looking forward to the most in 2023.
Yeah, same. And not to go back to Icy Stars, but this is what I wish Icy Stars would have done. Complete utter silence. And then drop a song, and I'm like, oh my God. It was like Christmas morning yesterday. I was on my way to work, and I was like, this is the happiest I've ever been.
Oh, I'm telling you, man. I almost cried. But yeah, guys, cool. Yeah. That's to give you a highlight on everything we featured on this podcast. We had 1056 with a new single. We got the Wise Man Fear dropping from Sharp Tone, Holding It Down. We got Graphic Nature. We talked about them last week. They're probably going to drop another song next week. Who knows? These guys have been... Yeah. They've been on it. Go check them out. Dropout Kings. Come on, guys. If y'all are anywhere in the scene or anywhere like related, you know about them, and if not, catch up. However, they do have like rap, like that heavy, like hardcore, like influence. Super catchy, super amazing. If that's not your thing, cool. You're gonna want to skip past this one too. But if not, King 810. Yeah. Go check out their new single. It was a breath of fresh air. If you're like an old school King 810 fan, it's definitely a good medium of where they need to be going. And then Half Me, guys. I'm telling you that Half Me is going to be the breakout band of 2023 for me.
They're going to, honestly, the bands of that sound, they're up there with Dealer and Alpha Wolf for me. Cool. Like, they're that good.
And then we have Dealer, of course. We've got Cold State. Go check them out for the Before I Turn fans. Not Cold State, Sells In. Then we have Cold State with their only single right now called Gruesome. It's amazing. Good. Go check them out on Spotify and go check out the video on YouTube. God, the production value on that was insane. We have Gloom with GLVVM. Yeah. Just dropped their first song. It's called freaking SOS. Awesome. If you follow the metalcore page on Facebook or like on TikTok or anything like that, you've probably seen them blowing up all across the underground scene. And then, guys, we have Periphery as well, which
he didn't even want to. He was like, I'll just leave them out. So
I was about to say, golly. But anyways, guys, cool. As always, thank you guys so much for listening. Go follow us on our socials, Core Values Podcast. Let us know who we should feature next. If y'all have any questions or comments, drop them down below on our socials. And yeah, we'll see y'all next Saturday. Peace. Cheers, y'all. Cool.